Yo.
It's your boy Chad. I got my boy
Deezy.
We are the ill-advised wise guys.
Check out the full podcast. Link below.
Yo. We are the ill-advised wise guys. It's your boy Chad. I got my boy
Cute Deezy. For Sheezy. It's way too easy. AKA Patrick Mahomes about to go to the Super Bowl Weezy.
This is episode 137.
137.
Shout out to the gang. Shout out to y'all for pulling up on us. Listen, if you're new here, stay a while. If you've been here before, stay a while even more. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the post notifications on, add a comment, follow us on socials. Yeah, get all the pleasantries out the way. If you rock with us, support the channel. You know, we're almost at 500 subscribers on YouTube.
Check out ratingsgamemusic.com. The best music review site on the globe. Shout out to Voyage Baltimore. Recently, they did an interview with me. They posted the interview on Voyage Baltimore. In the meantime, though, you guys want to hear about reviews and the reviews that we got on the site right now. Ice Spice dropped a new album called Like.
Question mark?
Question mark. Question mark. That dropped as an EP, actually.
I heard it.
And Trippie Redd, he dropped a album.
Mansion Music.
Yep. With all capital, 25 tracks.
Yep.
We did a review on that. And then we did a review of a couple songs that came out. The Kid Leroy returned back to the music scene with a new song. You know who submitted to us?
Who?
You would never believe this. Who submitted their song to us? Pitbull. Pitbull submitted to us. I'm gonna do a review of that.
Salute to Pitbull.
Salute to
man.
Pitbull.
Yo, listen, salute to all the artists that be submitting to the
Salute
brand.
to-
You know, like the Dax, Hit Boy.
Hit Boy.
Salute to the brand, obviously. Salute to everybody that's been working with, you know, RGM and what we got going on. But yeah, man, I'm gonna check out that article.
I give some good insight on how Ratings Game Music came about, what motivates me, and just kind of like some stuff that I think small business people could learn from.
On to the podcast side, man. We featured a few different artists this week on the Zero Skips playlist. One of the best playlists out there for indie artists right now. If you don't believe me, I encourage you to really check this out. Number one, there's a dude named Rinse4. He dropped a song called Aim for the Star. That is a freaking banger, I must say. There's another gentleman out there named 05. He has a song called Tetris, which is really, really dope.
Tetris.
Yeah, no, it's fires. And yeah, a couple other people out there, man, but just wanted to shout out a couple. So make sure to go to Spotify, type in Zero Skips. It'll pop right up. Talk to me.
That they recognize we did a section on last show where we were talking about the artist to look out for.
Yeah.
And I believe we received some type of notification from every single person that we talked about, including Mr. Chicken.
Ooh,
so shout out those people.
That's a fact.
You know,
That's a fact.
it's
Good
dope.
point. Good
it's
point.
dope that, you know, we were able to give them their flowers, I guess. It gave me a good validation.
Biggest
That was
thing
dope.
for me, it was organic.
Even
Like,
Scory.
bro, Scory.
My guy
Scory
Scory
liked the
said-
post.
that was-
Stove Got Cooks hit us in the
Stove Got
DM
Cooks.
and was like, yo, appreciate y'all. Yo.
He put down the packs for 5 minutes just to
Hey,
put a like.
Anyway, man, yo, shout out to them artists, man. Listen, thank you guys for supporting us on social media and all that, man. Let's get to the mother freaking topics.
That is funny.
Now, on this episode, we're going to be discussing the top 5 favorite Lil Wayne verses of all mother freaking time. This is a spoiler alert. Y'all are going to be mad. There's no way, there's no way we can have this conversation without somebody being like, "What the freak are you talking about? Like, how'd you miss that? What do you mean, bro? This is our top 5 favorite.
Seriously.
So if you have a favorite, feel free to hit us in the comments. You know, when we put those clips up on social media and whatnot, join the conversation. You know, we want to know what you guys believe. After that, we're going to get into a conversation about gatekeeping in the black community, specifically as it relates to black music. There's probably some confusion when people talk about black music. Like, what does that even mean? I'm a put some scope on this convo. We're specifically talking about the genres of music that black people are probably the predominant forces here, so that would be hip hop, rap, and then that'll sprinkle into some R&B as well. But the point is, there was a quote from Noname. You guys may not know who that is. She put out a very controversial post.
Her name is Noname.
Yeah, y'all don't know who Noname is for a reason. And then no disrespect to Noname.
I'm no disrespect.
No disrespect.
I'm just like, her name is Noname.
It's crazy,
like,
right?
Wow, that's interesting.
It is. And so
I love Noname.
Yeah, no, she put up a very controversial post, sparked a lot of conversation between he and I. We're going to talk about it, man, because I think this has been brewing. It's out there. People, it's in the ecosystem. We need to have the discussion. But first, we got to talk about Gunna Tello. Unfortunately, you know, our guy Gunna, there's no way to have this uncomfortable conversation about snitching in hip hop, about cooperating in hip hop, whether or not it's out of control, whether or not, you know, there's a place for street rap and what is happening. Because I'm gonna just be real with you, man. I'm gonna start. And by the way, I'm gonna kick this to you, but I want to set the stage. Many prominent rappers have come out over the last couple of days to week and unfollowed Gunna on social media. It's this whole big thing. Polo G, Lil Baby, Meek Mill, Lil Durk put out a song. I don't even think the song is out yet, but the snippet somehow is out where he's alluding to dissing Gunna, saying, what happened to Virgil, he probably gonna tell. Like, if you guys know anything on Lil Durk's last album, he had a song, What Happened to Virgil, featuring Gunna. Listen, use your brain, guys. You put two and two together. He's dissing Gunna. There is obviously a concerted effort from the street rappers to outcast Gunna. Now, I kick this to you. The question I have for you that I want you to answer first is, are they doing too much? Like, is there a place for street rap in outcasting the quote unquote snitches, the people who cooperate? Where do you ultimately see this going?
I'm going to use my Uno skip card, Uno reverse.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I ask you a direct question.
Uno reverse.
We ain't playing Uno, my G.
All right. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer immediately. I am not a street dude. Let's get that out the way.
Hey, PSA. I'm a law-abiding citizen, so is he, and probably so is a lot of our viewers.
I am a law-abiding citizen.
Sorry, not sorry.
I have not read the street code book.
Street manuals, the code of ethics.
I ordered it from Target. It should be here probably like in 3-4 days. I say that because I might say something that might be wrong according to like the street rules, and I'm just letting you know I don't follow or know the street rules.
Listen,
with that being said,
get to it,
because I was going to ask you this.
All right, come on.
From what I read from the reports, he didn't snitch. He copped a plea and he denounced YSL. So my question is there a difference between snitching and denouncing? Like, is that all looped together? Because if he just copped a plea and just denounced the gang, but didn't really name any names, does that still fall under the snitching category? So, like, I'm not a street dude. This is not me trying to be a smart ass or anything like that. I know it's not necessarily for you to answer the question.
Okay.
It's more so.
I was about to tell you because I can't provide an answer.
It was
like, so, yeah.
I think there's probably still more to talk about with his case. Like, I don't know if everything came out. You know, I think a lot of it is just kind of what you see in terms of what people filmed, what is being said. So I've never been the one to just kind of cancel a friendship or unfollow somebody based off speculation or what, you know, somebody I heard. That's what a lot of people did to Tory Lanez, right?
Okay.
Tory Lanez, a lot of people, including myself, like, you know, went on mediums and said, yo, like, Tory Lanez, damn, dog, like, it looks bad. What you did with the Megan Thee Stallion situation looks very bad. But then as time went on and then more evidence started to come out, more things people were saying started to come out, your stance on Tory Lanez, it dissipated a little more. You were a little more lenient. You were a little more willing to actually hear what he had to say. And that took months. Right now, the Gunna situation has been maybe a month, maybe even less than a month. So I do think at times it might be premature to try to unfollow him. Gunna probably needs to go on the Tamron Hall show. Just talk. Let's hear what you got to say from your innocent pedestrian that pays his taxes on time and is a law-abiding citizen. I felt like if what I read is all Gunna did, I can't call him a snitch.
I'm going to be real with you. You forcing me to play devil's advocate. Like you opened up and you said, we're not street. And so we got to be very clear when we have these discussions as people who are not in the streets to qualify. We got to preface it. No, it's important because you have to get that out the way. My point of saying that is to say, since we don't live our life by those codes of ethics, it's not our place to speak on the merit, the severity, the applicability of snitching and what it actually means. The only thing that I personally can do is listen to the people who are quote unquote street and who are in that life explain what is happening. So that's what I've been doing. You know, just like the rest of you guys. I'm listening to the WAC 100s. I'm listening to the people, like a slew of street dudes who are speaking, giving their opinion and seeing where stuff overlaps. So to play devil's advocate, Gunna, he accepted a plea deal. And I told you this yesterday, whatever it was. Yeah. Someone snuck a camera into the courtroom and recorded Gunna saying yes, ma'am, to a bunch of things that he was forced through in that plea deal to denounce. One being that not denounce, but to accept, I should say. Yeah. One being that YSL is a gang. The other being the guns and drugs that were found in that car he was ultimately charged with were not his, and that this is the one that was the biggest. He had personal knowledge of criminal activity and specifics of people who were committing crimes, murders, and all types of stuff within this YSL gang. He said, yes, ma'am.
I missed that.
I'm going to be real with you. See, if you missed it, that's the biggest piece.
Yeah.
Because we can talk all we want about not being in the streets, and we're not. But at the same time, from the dudes who are living that life, you get caught in that predicament, accepting and cooperating to that extent. And I told you this yesterday. I think that people would have probably been able to sweep this under the rug if it wasn't on video. Because listen, not to call people out, because again, I'm not street. I'm listening to the people that's street. Apparently what Gunna accepted was a Alfred plea. Now, I'm not about to get into the specifics of what that actually means, but apparently it's a very rare plea deal that is not granted to everybody, and it allows that person who accepted the plea to not completely acknowledge everything. They just got to cop out to certain things and they're able to walk free. I bring this up because T.I. is another person who accepted an Alfred plea back when he was in his legal trouble back in the day. I'm not trying to throw T.I. under the bus. This is not what this is about. I'm just trying to bring that up for context. That this has happened before in hip hop. This is not the first time. So we're not about to sit here and act like other people, other rappers have not been in this exact predicament. But I'm telling you right now, there was no video when T.I. accepted his. There was a video when Gunna accepted his. I don't believe that Gunna is going to be able to live that video down. That's my personal opinion. And so for that reason, because he was affiliated with the streets closely, I don't believe like he's going to be able to live that down because they've already started blackballing him. They as in the rappers. Yeah. They've already banded together like Voltron and said, we got to get this guy out of here. We're not rocking with him. We're not rocking with him. I'm going to still listen to Gunna music. I said that it's on the last episode. Sure? Bro, I'm not street. I said this on the last episode. When he drops music, I'm listening, bro.
You want to listen to what everybody else is listening to. Is Gunna's career over?
As we know it, yeah. I'm gonna be real with you, man. Listen,
where can he pivot to?
Should we really be giving a eulogy to Gunna's career?
No,
as we knew it.
Think about how many artists' careers changed after some type of bombshell happened. Like Chris Brown,
true.
Rick Ross. We talked about that, right? Rick Ross was being accused of being an officer. Now, we know he was a CO, correctional officer. Yep. There's images and stuff like that. But people were calling him Officer Ricky, mainly 50. But like, there's a lot of people that if you ask them, they're like, I don't rock with him because he's an officer. A lot of people say that.
Right.
I always thought like, damn, like, come on. like he's a CO. Like, I mean, there's a difference.
Right.
There's a major difference. But
huge.
He was able to overcome that.
In a major way.
Which is crazy.
In a major way.
I think he pivoted towards like, yo, I'm a boss. I'm making money. And if you want to make money, you got to like me. You got to feel my music.
That's very important because he changed the narrative.
He changed his approach.
And let's be real. Rick Ross was putting out his best music.
Rick Ross was putting out
at
his
the time.
Absolute best.
After he was accused, he dropped deeper than rap.
And then he actually caught beef with 50 Cent. I thought that made him even more popular. Like, that was a great strategic idea. Even though at the moment, people were like, yo, 50 Cent gonna wash him. But I thought that was a great strategic idea. Like, I just feel like he played his cards right. And then he was not an A-lister at that time. He was like on the come up. Yeah. Right? So it actually worked for him, right? Same thing Chris Brown. Chris Brown morphed into this bad boy. If Gunna can somehow pivot, because this, you talking about being in trap and stuff like that, I don't know if that's going to work. But I think where Gunna was pivoting to before all this, mainstream.
It was mainstream.
Pop. Not necessarily like.
It was still street.
Jason Derulo. That's what I say.
Street.
But like pop. Pop this day and age is not the same pop. This is not Backstreet Boys pop.
Of course, I know. The reason why I'm having pause is because if you really think about the height of Gunna last year, it was Push and P.
It was. But
Pushin' P. Have you heard the song?
Yeah. No, I know.
That's his most probably recognizable song for the masses.
For sure. But Pushin' P.
That is not a pop record.
He was actually doing songs with Rita Ora.
Like even early on, he did a song with Mariah Carey.
Yeah, that's where he needs to go. He needs to probably go to that lane because I'm not sure how much One Republic cares about snitching. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how much Demi Lovato cares if you told.
They don't.
I do have another question. Do people care about this snitching stuff? Because, a lot of people are like, yo, a lot of people came out and said, oh, when Tekashi gets out of jail, he's going to be as popular as he ever been. I get it. He didn't. Tekashi's career hasn't quite been the same ever since, right? But I don't think Tekashi is a good barometer because I think Tekashi, a lot of the things is he kind of burnt down his own career with some of the stuff, like the beefs he was getting into and the things he was saying, right? So I don't know if he's quite a good barometer of somebody who they claim, because I still don't think I can call Gunna a complete snitch. I'm not saying that based off you guys street standards.
Bro, he snitched. The man snitched. It's okay though. The
you
question.
Sure, you sure he snitched or tattletale?
He told the truth.
So I'm just saying, like, does it even matter in this day and age? Like, because I get it. To the Lil Babies and the Lil Durks of the world, yeah, that's a part of their brand. They can't have that and still have their brand be solid if you rocking with somebody that you claim did that. But does it matter what they think? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this something that is more so about the consumer? Is it one of those things where does the consumer care? Because like I said, I'm sure Tekashi's still doing way better numbers than most rappers, and the consumers will consume it. Does it even matter in the grand scheme of things?
Here's what I was thinking when you were asking the question. It matters because it matters to the rappers who are involved. And the reason why I say that is because you see what's going on these days, right? It appears that snitching is the number one topic of conversation right now. Gunna's not the only one involved in drama. There's Real Boston Richie. He's actually signed to Future. He recently came under fire because it came out by dudes who are official on YouTube named 1090 Jakes, who does a deep dive into these artists' paperwork. And it came out that he cooperated with law enforcement back in the day when he was younger, which completely contradicts the street mantra that these dudes portray in their music, right? When you ask me, does it matter? Yes and no, but yes, because the artists who are street care about that, but no, because the majority of the consumers are not street and they don't give a damn. Now, I do think right now we're at a crossroads because fans are starting to raise an eyebrow because it's not that we're street that we're having this conversation. We are now having this conversation openly because it's now become a conversation of, yo, are they hypocrites? It's not about street and not street. It's about real and fake. That's what this is about. You see what I'm saying?
I was gonna go there because
it's real and fake. I don't want to get into the street, but it's everybody can relate to real and fake. Rap has established itself as the real dudes. Soon as you go against the narrative, you're now fake. Unfortunately, I've said this before, rap is the only genre where apparently the rapper has to live out their rhymes. Bro, look at every genre. Nobody gives a damn about fucking Harry Styles and whether or not his lyrics are real. Who cares? It's art. It's music. Why has music become everything you're saying must be real? Why can't it just be art? And that's where the problem is with hip hop. Of music to now mean it's real life, and it's because of what the rappers have been preaching. Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword.
I'm not sure people have been this direct, this blunt about snitching, but I'm going to get blunt and I'm going to get direct here.
Please.
What is snitching? Snitching is you told on someone, you told law enforcement that somebody was doing something, a lot of times to get out of jail, right? I personally don't think all snitching is the same. And if somebody told me that, yo, man, I was in the streets, I was dealing drugs with such and such A and B, man, we was doing all these crimes, and then you get caught, and then you snitch on somebody. That to me is not acceptable. That should be shunned because you decided to go into the streets with that person. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
And do this dirty work. And then when you get caught up, you bring everybody else down with you. At the end of the day, you should not be going in there if you're not ready to face the consequences that come with it. You know what I'm saying? So like to me, that's wrong. And I think the word snitching has been conflated so bad. They just assume any type of paperwork, any type of telling is snitching. But somebody wants to tell the officers what they saw. To me, that's not snitching. That's not bad snitching.
Wait. Let me ask you. Who's the person? Are they in the street or are they not?
Not in the streets. Or even if they're in the street.
I'm not saying it's stupid or smart. By their codes, if you're in the streets, you talk about anything that's going on in the streets or whatever. Yeah. It can be, hey, cop, my name is such and such. If you even
that's what I'm saying.
Cooperate even
like,
in that manner.
Me, that's what I'm like. I'm asking a question. Like I said, I'm not a street dude, but
we ain't gonna get the answer.
Personally, I just hope because I have trust with these rappers when they talk about no snitching and stuff like that. I think they're actually coming from a logical place because I think they're coming from where I'm coming from, where it's like, man, you was doing all this dirt and all this stuff with me. You got caught. And because you got caught, you bringing me down with you.
Thank you.
Like to me, okay, I fully get that.
It makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And I understand the uproar why somebody would get angry about that. But like, I think your corny little kid that just is watching from the background is now starting to think that snitching means, oh, I talked to the cops or I did some type of plea deal. Like folks take plea deals all the time. So you mean to tell me if I saw somebody punch my neighbor right there, right, and run, I know exactly what the person looks like, and the cops ask me, what did you see? I'm not going to say anything?
No, you shouldn't. But if you're in the streets?
So let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
The dude, the Tory Lanez key witness.
Yep.
Right?
Who's in the neighborhood? Yep.
Is that a snitch?
Technically, yeah. By the
Is
streets,
Kelsey a snitch?
By the streets standards.
So is everybody a snitch on that? So Tory Lanez is a snitch, Megan's a snitch, Kelsey's a snitch,
bro,
everybody's a snitch because they told the police what happened.
I'm gonna be real with you, yo.
So I'm just like,
Gunna snitched.
So I was like, I don't know. I'm not gonna call nobody a snitch.
I'll say this though to close it out, man. At the end of the day, we go back and forth about what snitching means. One thing that at least I have to acknowledge is that the street codes and how it implicates civilians, I believe is wrong, bro. Like I've literally heard shit from rappers all my life. Everybody in their freaking mother talk about how if you see something in the hood, if you see something happen, close your blinds. This is what the black community has been preached to for centuries.
But let me ask you, is that
and
wrong?
I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm gonna take this the mature route. That mentality is the reason why we're even having this discussion in hip hop, bro.
The police.
This is why we're not street dudes.
I am not a street dude.
We are civilians. We hope you guys are doing the right thing out there. If you want to be in the streets, it has nothing to do with us.
Next topic. Noname.
Yes.
Right? Noname recently had a call for action. She said, Black people, we need to gatekeep our music. So, you know, obviously Noname is a critically acclaimed rapper. There's a difference between a popular, high-selling rapper and then a critically acclaimed. Critically acclaimed means that people think your work, most people that encounter your work think is great. She may not be able to create the change that is needed to gatekeep Black music, but she wants Black people to take control of hip-hop more. I would like to read the whole thing, honestly.
Bow Wow, he was the most recent person who's come out and said, you know, he feels that hip hop needs a union of sorts. Yeah. Like a committee, somebody to kind of govern the standards and blah, 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 the rules.
Like a players union.
Players union, he equated it to the professional sports.
Yeah.
I think that's a part of gatekeeping. I'll say that. So somehow, in some way, we're going to loop in that part into this. But yeah, let's go through.
Okay.
Let's go through what Noname said.
Gatekeeping. One of the biggest mistakes I believe we've made in our struggle towards liberation in this country is allowing white America unfiltered access to our entire culture. White America has created an institution of violent policing and medical neglect that is killing us every freaking day. And every day we get on these platforms, TikTok, Twitter, etc., and we create trends, music, art, and language that they turn into billions. Twitter admits in their guidelines that they disclose account information to law enforcement. They literally are the police. What do you think about what she said? That's interesting. She said they are literally the police.
I mean, you could argue that. I mean, listen, we saw recently 21 Savage on Clubhouse. I'm trying not to be a conspiracy theorist with this shit.
I think it was Ice-T. Somebody said it. They said, yo, Clubhouse was created by the police, the law enforcement.
Yo, bruh. But is it really crazy to say that out loud?
Oh, police definitely have some type of like affiliation. They look at it.
Bro, they have unfiltered access when they want.
There's anything that she said there?
You can't dispute like the early points about like the environment Black people have been put under. I just think that she's kind of conflating a couple different points. You know, she's talking about environment of Black people, then relates it to music. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not really the same, but keep going. Keep going.
So in the next slide, she says, we do not own Black culture, we create it. She said that 3 times. White America is the biggest consumer of hip hop in this country. Most top selling rappers talk about the plight of living in the hood or the struggle to make it out. Again, white people are the largest consumers of this type of content. Do y'all never think maybe white people don't organize to end economic racist exploitation that Black people face simply because they love consuming the art we make out of survival? It's voyeurism.
We don't own Black culture, we create it, is all facts. And you can actually make a legit argument about that. There's so many supporting facts, whether it's the fact that the labels are involved, you know, how many Black owners are part of like these label groups. I mean, we just saw Kanye West go on several rants, you know, criticizing the Jewish community. And I'm not even about to sit here and act like the Jewish community is responsible solely for all the stuff that she's talking about. But it's about the fact that how many Black people are actually owning the machines that ultimately push Black quote unquote culture in terms of music. I think it's a legit observation. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
That first part.
Well, I mean, I think this is where
then she goes into a little bit of I would say a rabbit hole at the bottom part. I'm gonna be real with you about the whole voyeurism conversation.
Exactly. And I think this is where it's important. I know Stephen A. Smith, a lot of times when he talks about some racial aspects, he makes sure to point out, I'm not talking about every white person. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the one thing from that slide that I'm like, it's not every white person has evil intent. White people are the biggest consumers. They are. I mean, if you look at these festivals, a lot of times, even if it's a hip hop festival, you look at these concerts, I bet you it's like a good chunk of the time it's majority white.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so white people are a major piece of who consumes hip hop. But I don't think that's every single consumer's bad. If they're white, they're bad. Like, no. I think it's her ire should be more so towards like the big businesses, the big companies, because I just personally think that there's a specific type of white people that may rub you the wrong way. And I think she did not say that there. But I mean, I don't want to nitpick, but I do agree with that topic about her saying like, yo, Do y'all realize, rappers, do y'all realize that like what you're talking about is what people that don't live what you live in is listening to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Particularly the word voyeurism. Essentially, I guess voyeurism is like looking at something from afar. Yep. You're not involved in the city. The next slide, she said, they did it with blues and they did it with jazz.
Facts.
They came into our communities, listened to our art, and instead of saying, wow, it's really effed up that their conditions are so bad, they made a whole genre called the blues.
Yep.
Maybe we should help them out. No, they saw money in our pain. Hip hop is the same-ish. You know how sick you have to be to listen to basically recorded therapy sessions that we call music, and instead of reaching out to help, you want to make money off it?
Okay.
It's sick.
Now I gotta stop you there. Because
That's crazy.
Again, she makes good points, but throws in the BS with it. The part that she started off with is 100% facts about it's proven rock and roll being stolen from Lil Richie. You guys go do your Googles. Go take any music class. You will see that rock and roll, the genre that is predominantly performed by white people and known by white people, was created by black people.
Well, Elvis, that's what Elvis is about.
Elvis
took his style, literally took it from black people.
There you go. And so the same goes with R&B. There's an argument to be said with country music as well. I'm not making this up.
I cannot imagine.
I'm not making this up.
The music I've heard Tim McGraw make. Yeah, a black person made something similar.
You know how many black people would say that about rock and roll? They'd be like, I don't think black people. How could black people? Bro, black people created that, dog. But the point is this: she started with that, but then ended with, I think, BS when she was talking about
how sick you got to be.
Yeah, because I don't like that because, dude, there's plenty of black people who also like the same music. Are you just pointing out white people who like the aggressive street content, or is it everybody? Yeah, is everybody likes it at this point?
And it's like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
At the end of the, it makes perfect sense. And then if you look at it at the end of the day, has you heard Machine Gun Kelly? Machine Gun Kelly, black people talk about different problems than white people talk about, in their music. Like, Machine Gun Kelly is talking about overdoses. And Machine Gun Kelly is talking about, I almost shot myself. Like, he actually has problems too. I feel like music in general a majority of the music was based off problems people have, like heartbreak music. I just broke up with somebody. Oh man, my mental health is not the same. Like, that's what all of music is about these days. Black people have their particular made it out the mud and stuff like that. So, I kind of get where she's coming from, but at the same time, I don't think she should be so harsh about it. People like what they like. People gravitate. And I think this is kind of what she's saying is what's wrong with the society we live in today. You're assuming white people don't have problems too. There can be people that connect with Lil Baby because you have similar problems to Lil Baby. Maybe you don't say it out loud.
Bro, there's plenty of black people
who who
rock with Eminem because they can relate to the struggle of coming up under an environment where you didn't like your
feeding
mom,
out.
Like a lot of trauma and dysfunction in the family. People can relate to that. Yeah. White or black,
So it's like, I personally believe, I like some of the sentiments she said, but I just feel like, you can't negate like the people that actually are going through things that are actually connecting with the music just because they're not going to tell you they're struggling. How many people tell you they're actually struggling? She then said, as black artists making black art, we have a responsibility to our community and to our culture. I understand needing to survive under capitalism, but there is power in collective action. I'm not above anybody, but if there was a collective boycott where all black artists refuse to share our work unless we see radical change in our conditions, I would immediately do that. I'm just throwing out ideas because we are dying. I'm tired of watching them kill us, then seeing them dance at the shows when we sing about our demise. Seeing them steal our kids' TikTok dances and becoming millionaire influencers. We have to start gatekeeping. I don't have the answers, so drop ideas in the comments. I just know we can't keep moving like this.
The part where she said, yo, I'm about to play Coachella because I need the bread. And calling out, a platform and people who make money off of the backs of the trauma that she's alluding to right here. She's willing to obviously take a stance if people would come together as a community. And I think that, like, unfortunately, none of us are saviors. None of us are like freaking leaders of the community, quote unquote. And I'm a big believer in each one, teach one, lead by example. Like if you're talking about it, be about it. If you want to see a change, be the change. Don't point the finger, don't, complain without providing legit actionable ideas for other people to kind of follow up. And I think that like, although Noname may not necessarily be a household name, her message here about gatekeeping may not hit as hard because of that reason. She's highlighting some things that I think are legit while also being a bit too hard on white people, which I don't like. Again, while still making decent points here and there. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this is about gatekeeping. Her ultimate point is we need to start gatekeeping. The question I have is, real quick, is there one thing that black people can actually do, in your opinion, to quote unquote gatekeep black art?
The NBA, I believe, gatekeeps the idea of what real basketball looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go right now and play 5-on-5 down the street, you're more than likely going by NBA rules, right? NBA has gatekeeped the idea of what basketball is in America. Like, if you're going to follow rules, you're going to follow NBA's rules, not NCAA, not EuroLeague, not whatever, right? If hip hop ever would have had an idea about gatekeeping, right, it would have to look something like that. If you're going to go on TikTok, it has to be universally known. This is not what you do. And this is what you do.
No promoting of guns online.
Exactly. Like, if you aren't from the streets, if you aren't black, I don't want to hear you listening to music about guns.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think everybody at this point can acknowledge, whether you're black or white, that social media can get you incriminated. So my thing is, if you guys in the music are already incriminating yourself, then you're saying it's just lyrics. Then how about in platforms that are not music based, don't incriminate yourself? You get what I'm saying? Like, you band together and say, yo, listen, no more putting guns up on social, no more putting weapons up on the gram, like no more talking about bodies that you have on Clubhouse, no more doing any of that. I think that that's something that would help with to clean up or gatekeep in a way, the image of hip hop. If you ask me,
I'm laughing because there is something about hip hop that's gatekeep that people don't really consider. Because the word gatekeep is like, it's you can use it in several different ways, right?
Absolutely.
But there is something about hip hop that's being gatekept.
Okay.
The N-word.
Ooh.
So like, no matter how many TikTok videos you see,
it's a good example.
No matter how many emulations of people trying to be rappers, if you white and a rapper, do not use the N-word. We can use it, but you cannot use it. And so I think if people came out and said, yo, I'm offended by such and such, by certain things, you can't tell people what to listen to.
But again, there has to be a collective agreement.
Has to be a collective
agreement.
For the most part, white people saying the N-word,
which
so it's not crazy.
But which for the most part, most black people can agree that people outside of the black community should not be saying it. Yes. Now, there's arguments within the black community to say we need to stop using it. Yeah. But I'm talking about the people outside. Most people are going to be like, nah, nobody else should be saying it.
Exactly.
So you got to get a collective agreement before anything can happen.
But it has to be a reasoning for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Has to be a reasoning for it. So my only issue with anything that she said was just kind of devaluing the consumer. And as somebody who, I run a website, we run this podcast, there's so many things that people run. I value every single reader, whether you're gay, white, black, Spanish, it doesn't matter, brown, yellow, green. Like, I value every single consumer. I think what we have to put more of an emphasis on, which she did not mention here, is what we put out to the media. And unfortunately, what is people are gravitating to are struggle music. That's I've said it to you multiple times. I said I wish the hip hop community people gravitated to the good, the positive stuff. I was like, Smino. If you listen to Smino's album, not a single mention of guns, or maybe he hadn't mentioned it. Is barely. But like it was positive, it was cheery. I was like, yo, if people only knew like how good you feel after you listen to a Smino album or a Smino song, it feels good. I wish that was put at the pedestal, or at least I wish artists made more of that. Like, let's celebrate Black. So I think that's the one maybe thing I would change about what she said.
Yeah.
Because she never mentioned we should stop making that kind of music or we should make more of the other kind of music. It was just like, let's keep making it and we should stop them consuming it. You're not going to stop a consumer from consuming anything.
At all.
But what you can stop is what you are putting out there to the consumer.
This is the hard conversation that I think a lot of artists have to face if they want to be successful as an artist, right? Mm-hmm. You got to make certain sacrifices. Unfortunate. For the most part, the masses have to decide, are you going to step over your morals? Are you going to, bypass stuff that you don't necessarily stand by if you want to be successful? They got to make that hard call. The reason I bring that up, to get this off of Noname for a second, 21 Savage, a couple months ago was talking about how, the fans wouldn't listen to him if he wasn't talking about murder, kill, death. Mm-hmm. He was like, what y'all want me to talk about? Happy shit? Y'all not going to listen. That's the mentality. Yeah. And I think that, unfortunately, if we're being real, the sad truth is that people gravitate towards negativity. People gravitate towards crime. Yeah. This is the reason why the true crime genre in podcasting is the #1 genre in America. There's this sick, incestuous, I should say, kind of like fascination, almost voyeurism.
Yeah, voyeurism.
When it comes to negativity. And unfortunately, that's the reason why street rap is leading the charge right now when it comes to hip hop. And until, unfortunately, some tragedy happens where like they start cracking down, like which is happening now with the Ricos and stuff like that. When everybody start going to jail, then things might probably change. And I know that sounds wild because I don't want anybody to go to jail. But the sad reality is street rap has got to a point where there seems to be this like agenda targeting of the street rappers. Not to say they're innocent.
I feel like,
but it's like, yo, they trying to get them out of here.
Forget, and that's all. I hear you on that.
Yeah.
But like, I just feel like in the era we grew up with, there was more balance. I think that's the difference in today's hip hop.
But I think there's balance now too. There's so much positive music.
What goes mainstream.
You talking about mainstream?
Like what goes mainstream, there was more of a balance. Like think about it. Like back in the day, Puff Daddy and the Bad Boy family.
Yep.
Like they were creating positive music. You just don't hear as much of that anymore. And so, like,
man, we got Jack Harlow, First Class.
I mean, true.
That's not street.
Next topic: top 5 Lil Wayne's. Let's have a little bit of fun.
Absolutely,
let's have a little bit of fun.
Absolutely.
Top 5 Lil Wayne songs. So
favorite.
Top 5 favorite.
Let's be very very clear about what we're doing.
Top 5 favorite Lil Wayne verses. So I was the one that was like, yo, I want to just do a deep dive on like the top 5 my favorite Lil Wayne verses. Because I was driving to my parents' house and all my life, something with J-Rock and Lil Wayne. And I heard his verse, which I think was one of his, there you go. Here's a hint. That's one of my favorite Lil Wayne verses was that song, All My Life. He started his verse. He said, times as hard as it is. That's why I got guns and my guns got kids. Oh my, what? This is why I got guns and my guns got kids?
It's tough. It's tough, man.
That Soldier. See, a lot of people are going to be like, what, Soldier? You talking Soldier with Destiny's Child and T.I.? Do you remember Lil Wayne's verse on Soldier?
Of course.
He said, if you see me on the block, I ain't trying to hide. I blend in with the hood. I'm camouflage. Bandana tie. So mommy join my troop. So anytime she hear my name, she salute. Whoa!
Listen, I say that.
That was on a Destiny's Child song.
So here's the thing. I already know where this is going.
Oh,
I already know this is going with your top two. Let me pause you for a second.
Oh,
I gotta be fair. I gotta be real with you.
Okay.
That's an iconic verse.
Oh,
right?
My God,
that's iconic.
Yeah.
Your top 5 don't gotta be Wayne's most iconic.
No, I'm not saying iconic. No, that's not iconic. His verse from Soldier.
What are you talking? You know the amount of freaking lyrics and sound bites that came out?
People remember. I didn't know that.
Bro, people remember that verse. That's a memorable verse.
So I didn't know people remember that. I thought I was going left field.
Are you living in this world or no?
I thought
people talk about that verse.
Oh, shoot. I didn't know that. I'm just telling you, I didn't know that. I'm not on YouTube all the time like you.
What?
Mr. Carter, come on. Hey, Mr. Carter. Particularly his second verse on there.
Woo! I am him.
His second, I thought he just killed that song. Both verses.
Did he body Jay-Z?
Of course he bodied Jay-Z. Even though Jay-Z did very well.
Did he body Jay-Z?
He bodied him? Yeah. And number 4 for me, Dr. Carter.
No order.
Yeah, no order. So this was hard for me because it was between Dr. Carter and Mrs. Officer. Because I think Mrs. Officer,
is that on my list?
Mrs. Officer got some good verses.
There?
Mrs. Officer might go down as like his best song, like of all time. It might.
I like the hot
song.
Take. I like the hot song.
But Dr. Carter, I thought like when he was talking about hip hop is dead, he was trying to save hip hop, and he's like,
love it.
You know, hip hop, I saved your life.
One thing I liked about him on that song in particular was, bro, that whole song was so thematic. Bro, like that was the most that might be his most artistic song.
Yeah. At the time, it was like because I still remember the day that album came out.
Me too.
And nobody was really paying that much attention to that song in particular because there was harder hitting songs like Mr. Carter and stuff people heard for the first time.
Yeah.
But I think as time went by, it aged so well. Every time the song comes on, even if you go out to a lounge or club or anything, that song comes on, fire. But I actually had Dr. Carter over it, but it was hard. It was tough. Number 1, and I don't think you are a real Lil Wayne fan if this is not your number 1, if it's not in your top 5. I'm a D-boy.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's not in my top 5.
Oh. Thinking of a master plan, I got money, but I'm thinking of a faster plan. I'm trying to cash it in. I got 5 in the garbage can and the wraps around. I need cash it. Oh, catch me in the spots where the shots pop off at. I ain't trying to prove nothing. I'm just trying to move something.
First off, good list. You had multiple songs from Carter 3.
Yeah.
Which is also for me.
That's my favorite. Carter 3 is my favorite Lil Wayne project of all time.
Hey, listen, bro. I'm not mad at you. I'm gonna start with the first one, bro.
Here we go.
A Milli.
Oh, of course, that's
we not doing it.
Iconic.
We're not having this conversation unless we bring up a millionaire. I'm a young money millionaire, tougher than Nigerian hair.
Oh yes,
come on.
Yes.
Are you? I mean, like that song, the verse, the video, how it was one take, still gives me chills to this day. I can't have this convo without bringing up a Milli. It would just wouldn't be right.
Put a Milli on there,
it wouldn't be right.
Like, it's not my favorite though.
And I'm gonna go to C1. Go DJ.
Oh, go DJ.
Go DJ. Oh. Yeah, that's my DJ. Yeah. There go DJ. Yeah. That's my DJ.
That was like one of the first songs that I'm like, yo, this guy's different.
I ain't gonna lie, that was probably the first song Wayne ripped.
This guy's different.
That made me say, wait a second.
I was like, this guy's different.
Who the fuck is this guy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was like, this guy's different.
And I don't even have a favorite. At this point, I don't even have favorite verses. I just think he killed the whole song.
Yeah,
the entire song.
Which is fair.
You know, so Go DJ is definitely number 2 for me. Number 3, I'm going to speed up for a second. But my number 3 for me has to be Shoot Me Down.
Ooh!
On Carter 3.
Shoot me down, 'cause I'm flying.
Dun, 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 dun. Biggest thing that I loved about that song was that like that was right after Hurricane Katrina.
It was.
And I just felt like on that song there was a certain energy, grungy, unapologetic. Bro, that dude was like, I don't care who's listening to this. Y'all gonna feel me on this. Like, it was just a different energy that he came with on that song that gives me chills still to this day. Shoot Me Down, bro. That's it. You got it?
Alcatraz bars, I know. And D-Boys is the only alphabet boys I know. Papa, I did it to him. I'm a bastard, and I'm going to do it again
like backwards. These backwards. He was different during that time.
I love Carter 3.
Now I'm gonna lighten it up a bit because I'm gonna be real with you.
Right?
No, that was 3. Number 4, this is one of those songs that was leaked during that Carter 3 era that I think didn't get the appreciation it deserved. The song, the structure, the way he was rhyming, Comfortable featuring Babyface.
Ooh.
I just want to
come on, man.
Bro, the way he was rapping.
He killed it.
He was rapping on that song. You know what I'm saying? So
he killed it.
Don't you remember that song was leaked?
It was leaked.
Bro, it was leaked for like 2 years before the joint dropped.
I just want to make you comfortable. Yeah.
Y'all go do your Googles. Go check out these verses. Go check out the song. At this point, this is not even about favorite verse, because a lot of these songs have multiple verses from Wayne. So you could easily be like, oh, I like verse 2.
For sure.
Verse 3.
But
no, I'm not doing that.
Which I was able to do, but
I'm not doing that.
You know what I liked about Comfortable? It was such a smooth song. At the time, this was different. Like, you didn't really hear rappers like hop on like very smooth songs acting like they didn't care. Like Lil Wayne came on there. This is a song with Babyface. Yeah. Smooth little R&B joint. And I'm just looking at the lyrics. He was like, yeah. To the left. If you want to leave, be my guest, you can step. Feeling the response, irreplaceable.
Listen to Beyonce.
Well, okay, I'll put you out on your B-Day.
You're rocking with Weezy. Bedroom in the bank, baby, we safe. I got game like EA, but I want to let you play.
Carter 3 has, I think maybe there's 14 songs on there. I legit think every song is 5 stars. Like, wallahi. Yeah. I think that is a perfect album.
To me, to round off my top 5.
This is a tough one.
Round off my top. This one is difficult because one thing I realized as I was putting together this list is so difficult because Wayne has an entire catalog of mixtape content. You know how difficult it would be for me to go back to Dedication 2. You know how many verses he ripped? Go to Drought 3. As I start having that conversation,
which was the last one
I go to No Ceilings.
Ooh, okay.
And the way Wayne murdered Swag Surf.
Oh, he did.
I just feel like, at this point when it comes to Wayne's career,
that's a good list.
It's very difficult to
it's a good list.
Pinpoint
it's a good list.
A top 5. Anything.
That's a good list.
How can you pinpoint the top 5 anything with Wayne, realistically speaking? But
it's a good list.
I think we were able to do it somewhat.
It's a good list. I mean, there's obviously, I'm just giving 5, but like I've loved hundreds of Wayne verses. Lil Wayne is different.
And the other thing I'll say is, man, I think at a certain point, man, the verses that he put up was so good that it didn't even matter whether or not it was verse 1
it did not.
That was fire over verse 2.
It did not.
The way he's rapping on these songs, I urge you guys to go back and listen.
It did not.
This is peak Wayne. This is top tier Wayne. This is the reason why this man is a GOAT and should be respected as such to the end of time. Y'all should be putting respect on all the kids Wayne has birthed. Listen, we reached the end of the show. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Get us to 500 subscribers on YouTube. On that note, if you're giving advice, just make sure it's ill. Make sure your guns have kids too. If you're a discreet dude. Anyway, peace.